I have to get up in 2 hours and I have not been to sleep. I can't sleep. I drank so much of that Herbalife tea, the little tea that I did have left. I'm not even sleepy, so at least that's good. I'll go to work charged up. But for those of you who are up, please cover me in prayer because this place is a completely, like, it's a freaking war zone. And I've been a little bit more vocal about it on my other channel. Like I said, if y'all want to go watch that vlog or just know a little bit more info of what exactly is taking place, I can give y'all the channel or whatever. Just email me. But my main thing that I'm struggling with right now is just how to deal with the people. I've always struggled with that. I do not know how to deal with people. I'm not a people person when it comes to negativity. And the people I work with is so many different breeds of wicked. I guess it's just the fact that I'm unfamiliar with it, so I don't really know how to like react towards it. And the Lord's given me 2 dreams about 2 people that I work with. Because like I said, I have been praying for him to just kind of expose their hearts to me so I know what I'm dealing with, especially towards me. And I don't know. I would just like some tips and some details from y'all, some spiritual counsel, but just from personal experience from you when it comes to the work atmosphere. I just really don't know. I literally have not really encountered people that toxic before. I've had the privilege of bonding with one of them, so I have an understanding of what her situation is spiritually. I guess my main problem is just when it comes to you showing people the love of God, how do you do that without compromising with them and yielding to this spirit that's over him? Like, for example, like somebody who's dealing with the Jezebel spirit. The Jezebel spirit has a tendency to dominate people. Sometimes they can do it unknowingly or unconsciously, but I mean, if you have this spirit on you, you have a very domineering personality. And when I do try to be nice to them or just try to show love or just kind of like treat them equal, I still find myself just kind of unconsciously yielding to that personality that they have, and I don't want to do that. And I find myself compromising, like just with little stuff, like I'm laughing at carnal things they say or things that are not even funny. Some individuals are in adulterous relationships and they speak with me about it, and because they're not saved, I can't just really outright come to them and just, I guess that's another thing that's kind of frustrating me. I feel like I can't be myself at my job because you have to use wisdom when you talk to people who are not saved about. You can't just come out like with all these scriptures and revelations and stuff. Like, I only told one of them about my YouTube channel, and I doubt that he even watches it. So, but I don't know. I don't really know how to deal with it. And then I kind of feel bad because I'm like, well, maybe I should have said something to him. Or there was one day, and maybe it's just because I've just been empty lately. There was one day where they were confiding in me, and I honestly believe that was the Lord because they told me they hadn't told anybody else at the job that stuff. And I wanted to pour into them so bad, but I literally had nothing to give. And I even asked God to speak through me, and I didn't get anything. But I've just been through this so many times with people, and I guess I'm just still learning. I get the whole like unconditional love, towards people who aren't deserving. I get that aspect of it. I guess mine is just I still get offended from people. Like, for example, that same person who confided in me and that I started to kind of just grow a care for threw me under the bus in front of our manager a few days after. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So how do you show the love of God to people and form a pure relationship with somebody who still has these fake, like, two-faced tendencies and they're everywhere? And I'm just like the this coworker that recently just left the job because of that mess. I'm just like her, and she was just explaining to me because she was a Christian. Like I said, my first 2 days working there, I had the privilege of just being trained by her. She was so awesome. I still stay in contact with her, but I got to ride the shuttle with her and everything because we took this one guest to the airport, and she was just really expressing to me how she was just ready to go. She was just grieved, and she was holding back a lot of what the problem was. So I think she just really didn't want to be a gossip, and she just wanted me to see for myself. And I was trying to encourage her, which is ironic. I was like, well, I said, if if God, I was talking about sovereign God and how in the book Sovereign God it says how God has us in a controlled environment, so nothing's ever in vain and nothing's just chance and coincidence. I said, well, maybe we just allow the trial to do what it's supposed to do, which is just to crucify us, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. And she was just quiet the whole time. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe she just don't want to hear the crucifixion part because, us, we'd rather just like, if there's any way we can just skip this trial, honey, like she moved and she went to another job. But she was just quiet when I was saying that. Because in my head, I just started working there and I was just like, well, it can't be that bad. And if it is, like, we're Christians, so it shouldn't be a situation where we can't even be around the people and we literally have to leave. No, I see exactly what she was talking about. I think the pressure that she was feeling, and it's really sad, like, man, them spirits, they really can break a Christian down if you're really not covered. I don't know. I think maybe God is honestly going to use these people at this job to make sure that I stay hidden in Him, because if you don't, there's just some people, some atmospheres, you literally have to have like the grace of God. You have to be buried in the Lord to even function. And she was just stressed out, and she was listening to me, but she just didn't say anything. She was like, yeah, she said, I agree, but I also believe that the Lord will remove you if some places are just really toxic. And she said it's been very toxic for me spiritually. And she left. She went to another job, and I was just like, well, I guess we'll see. It'll manifest who it is and what the problem is eventually, and it is. And what she was feeling was nothing but witchcraft from that Jezebel spirit, because literally 3 people there, and it's probably more, because with Jezebel, she probably, that spirit just lies dormant, then you see it like later on, but it's 3 of them already. I've already seen. And when you have triple Jezebel like that, oh my God. It's just so much witchcraft. Everything in that spirit comes with is multiplied by 3 at my job. And yes, it's worse when you're a Christian because the enemy's going to target you purposely for no reason at all. I'm getting funny treatment from people, and I haven't even really, they don't even really have a reason to act the way they are with me. So I'm just like, man, this is just not even. I've prayed. I mean, I do pray. I bind spirits. I mean, sometimes I'll just go into the restroom. I bind spirits on everybody coming into the hotel to just stay. People that are leaving, worker. I pray for everybody there because I don't want any type of manifestations around me outside of God's will, of course. And it really does. It's like it doesn't matter how much binding I do. It's still there. And I just thought she was over exaggerating because she just kept telling me, she was like, the devil was in that place. She said, I have to leave. And I thought, I honestly thought she was just kind of being rebellious, maybe as a Christian. Maybe she just didn't want to deal with the whole crucifixion part of it. But no, she's I literally have never. And I've met some wicked people, but it's just people's hearts. That's mostly what it is. And I've only been here for 2.5 weeks. And literally every day of me going to that place to work. And it's not my job. I like my job. The job is easy. But I shouldn't have to dread going to work because I'm just roaming in my mind trying to figure out a way, okay, how can I just function today? How can I deal with the weird vibes and the weird body language today? How can I deal with their attitudes today? What can I do today to just not go crazy? I've been so stressed out by these people and to just some people say it's petty stuff, like I said in my other video. Some people can work in atmospheres like that, and it's not a problem for them because they're used to it. Like my coworker that left, I'm like her. We take stuff like that personally. I'm way too sensitive to people's spirits and body language, all of that stuff to just know that stuff gets to me personally. That will bother me, especially if I don't really know what the cause or the reason is. I can't handle stuff like that. And I literally just try to figure out every day, okay, what can I do today to just kind of. God, it's just so disgusting. I mean, some people are literally like special breeds of wicked. It's ridiculous. And I wasn't trying to be cold hearted in my Matrix video when I was talking about it. I literally was just I was serious. There's some wicked people that are just like they're just lost and God has to draw them once they get revelation, that's all that'll fall off of them because a lot of people are just that way because they don't know the love of God yet. But just like Jonathan Ko said in his hell video, I think he said God showed him hell in a dream or something, and all he kept saying in that video was like, trust me, the people that are in hell, they belong there. You know. And I was serious when I said like I see now hell is a place for people like that. It really, really is. I will never understand how some people can just be so wicked, like disgusting, putrid, vile, miserable, just toxic. And all I keep thinking about is what the Lord taught me when it comes to the Jezebel spirit, how the Jezebel spirit can be tolerated. And I think God means that in several different ways it can be tolerated. Not just don't allow it in your life or in your temple through relationships and stuff, but I think he's literally just telling us blatantly, no, it literally can't be tolerated. It's so bad. Like individuals with that spirit is so bad to the point where you have to cut them off. There's no compromising with somebody like that. They're too wicked. They're not gonna change. They're that toxic. They have to be removed. It's not a situation to where you could fix them. And to be honest with you, that's what my manager's doing. Y'all, please pray for her. Please pray for my manager. She's going through it. She's stressed. Cover her. I think she has a good shot at her new job, but honestly, there's so much drama at that place. Like she's stressed. She really, really is. I've seen her go like through two different personalities and like six different emotions, and I just started working here. So please cover her in prayer. And like I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. Really do pray for her. Because those same people, that manipulative Jezebel spirit can get in her ear. And I know how it is when the Jezebel spirit is oppressing you. It's a psychological breakdown. I think that's what's happening with her because she's like, I've just seen her shifting. Like, and God forbid she goes to that side and those people get that kind of dominion over her mind. Like, please pray for that woman. I've been praying for her too. When it comes to people in authority, it really depends. I pray for some people to be removed. If I feel like they're just really wicked and they're people who like to abuse their authority as like a manager or something, I honestly just pray for God to remove them. And then he'll give me, like for this situation, he gave me Daniel chapter 6. So he's definitely going to be removing some people. He's already told me that. But when it comes to her, I've just been praying that since she is in like an authoritative role, I pray for God to just put his will in those people's hearts so that they can just do his will. That's another way that we can manifest the kingdom in a work atmosphere. Pray for God to put his will and to execute his judgments and to manifest his kingdom through the people who are already in charge. Whether they're saved or not, God can still do it. I've just been praying for him to just turn their hearts to him, and whoever needs to go, like God, just praying against any type of witchcraft, because the enemy, like this whole thing literally is really just about Satan trying to manifest his kingdom and God trying to manifest his. Whenever we pray, your kingdom come, your will be done. This is the way we do it. It's kind of like a flower coming out of the ground and budding. It's the same way. So it's a battle. And if you don't have people interceding and praying, and I really don't have a lot of clarity of what God's doing right now, to be honest with you, because I'm just like I got a lot of chaos around my mind when it comes to this job. But I think that is why He puts some of His people in atmospheres like that, because He is manifesting His kingdom in those atmospheres through us. Because we're already kingdom people anyway. We just need to make sure that God is being seen and not us. But yeah, if you don't have somebody there to intercede, and I said that, I was like, it's probably why God put me there, because He knows, like, I'm not the type of person to just sit there and see injustice and just see people doing stuff and they getting away with it. No, I'm about order. I like righteousness and I like equity. If I see somebody being mistreated, I'm gonna say something about it to somebody in charge. You can get as pissed off as you want about that. I mean, if you were doing what you were supposed to do and treating people how you want to be treated, you shouldn't have a reason to be upset, you know? And I was thinking, and I say, He's probably just gonna put me there to just kind of clean house, because if you don't have somebody there to witness this stuff and to intercede about that, the enemy will just continue to prevail in that work atmosphere. And the manipulative people who are still there, the wicked people, the toxic people that have been there for a long time. I said this the same thing when it comes to my husband, when I did that spiritual warfare prayer for my husband last year. And I was telling y'all how I had that vision of all those Haitian spirits and stuff, and they were leaving. And sometimes it's like that. God has to, like, literally just place His people in, like, certain job atmospheres, or maybe it's just somebody's life, or any situation to where a shift needs to be done. Something needs to occur, and He has to put the right anointed people there. You can't put a wicked person, like, it's some things like a carnal person just cannot do, because they don't have spiritual understanding. You can put somebody who's not saved in that atmosphere. They may see all those same things being done. They may want to fix it. They may try to come up with all these different carnal methods to fix the situation. But a spiritual anointed person who God is actually revealing to, they see what the real issue is, and only those particular people can intercede and come to the Father, and then He's able to remove the true problem. So yeah, if you don't have somebody interceding, the enemy is just going to continue to prevail, because those people are not covered. The managers, they're darkened, they're still blinded, they're not covered. Or the general manager, or whoever else is there, they're not covered. So they may come up with all these different carnal methods to fix something, but really the enemy is just doing witchcraft against them as well, because they can't see spiritually what the real issue is. And Satan just got his people just lined up all up in there. So man, it's crazy. Pray for her. I always said it would be such a beautiful thing, because this stuff is everywhere. We're living in the Matrix, so it really is just mostly you're gonna see the Matrix system in a lot of jobs, unless God really puts people there to just kind of for His kingdom to be manifested there. But I said it would be a great thing if you did have like a job where it was just nothing but Christians. Or I mean, it would be the most beautiful. Could you imagine the peace and the love and just the holiness that would just be all up in that place if God removed all the toxic people that needed to be gone, all the wicked people that had been in authority for so long. It may take some time, because like most times, like, it's a process to do stuff like that. Now, I've been meaning to tell y'all, but my last job that I had at the mall, y'all remember how I told y'all when the Lord told me I was going to get promoted there and everything, and He also confirmed this scripture to me about how He was going to bring judgment upon that company. And when I read it, I was just kind of like, okay, Lord, that's a bit far. Like, all they did was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, they did me pretty dirty. But I think that's what God's issue is. I don't even really think it's just He cares about the details, but you gotta understand, like, there's a lot of heartless, cruel, wicked people in companies like that, or just in businesses and stuff like that. And He told me He was gonna bring judgment on that whole company. And I recently found out from my manager at that job that it's, I don't want to say the store name, but it's pretty much going down. And when she told me that, I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, man, God is so faithful. Like, cause when He tells you stuff, we have like our own mind or how we think it's gonna happen or how soon it's gonna happen. But He did tell me that because He was just upset, and just the way they did me, it was just like, it was just so petty. It wasn't just that girl that the enemy was using. It was just the way they did it, period. Like, you don't just fire somebody without investigating a situation like that. And He hates stuff like that. Twofold. One, because it's His child that you're screwing over, and He sees His son when He looked at the body of Christ. So imagine how God felt when He was watching those people crucify Jesus. I'm pretty sure He has the same righteous anger towards what people do to us down here. And whenever something bad happens to me and I pray about it, He be giving me scriptures about judgment. Like, it's like God goes to level 10 anger and He's just like, I'm going to do this and this. And it's like, Lord, I just got fired. Calm down. But she told me that. She was like, yes, girl, blah, 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 is going down because the people that they hired, the store's just going to crap. And I was just like, well, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know. I just really don't understand the wicked. People think that they can get away with stuff like this, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like, the stuff that I've seen in my job so far, it makes me so sick. The favoritism, yes, I understand it's common. I don't need people to keep repeating that to me. I know it's common. Wickedness around the world is common, but that doesn't mean that we should just sit around and not do anything about it, But the favoritism, there's just mistreatment, disrespect from people in authority. I hate with a passion when people abuse their authority. It makes me so sick to my stomach. I've been praying that God sends Christians into that job, especially for me to work with, because it would just be so nice if I just had somebody to just like pour into me that I could just stand next to. There's a Christian girl there that I'm cool with there, but I guess right now I'm just kind of I'm gonna just be quiet and just observe, be very circumspect, pay attention. Because some people that you think are enemies may actually be your assignment. And if you just be quiet and just kind of pay attention first, God may unveil that to you, that you're there to help, maybe, even if it's just one person. And if you let the chaos just get to you like that, the enemy can take that away as well. To the point where all you see is just darkness and you can't help anybody, or the one that God put you there to help. But and it could just be that maybe it's just a lot of demonic activity there that's just surrounding me, because the enemy knows that God put me there to just kind of shift some things. I think He's just using just how I am. I don't like stuff like that. Like, if I see something wrong, I'm gonna go to the manager about it, or I'm gonna go to somebody higher, because stuff like that is just ridiculous. I don't like work atmospheres. People just get away with stuff, and you do what you want to do. There's no order. It's just like anarchy everywhere. People do what they want to do. They talk to you how they want to talk to you, treat you how, like, no. And it's just nothing but confusion up there. And I have a soft spot for my manager, even though like I've been seeing some changes in her behavior and stuff lately. I really think it's just kind of due to pressure. And like I said, them demons is all up in that hotel for real. She's probably just getting depressed and doesn't even know it. And I would hate for the enemy to be using those witches, especially that one, to just get in that woman's ear and just be pulling her and win her over, because they do it. Jezebel is very seductive. There are people in the workplace who can make a manager feel intimidated. So she just ends up just compromising with them, and they win her over to their side. And the wickedness just continues. It happens. Not saying she's weak or anything, but when you're dealing with spirits, which is why I said you have to have a Christian there to intercede over the entire place, that spirit breaks you down psychologically, and you don't have the proper weapons to fight against that. All you have is your methods and your position. Satan don't care about that. And that woman, I had Devonay telling me, Brandy, just love her. It's not the people, it's us. We're the problem. I agree with that. I think it's both. God sees people's hearts, okay? And one thing I love about the Father, He's not gonna have His children being some fools. Hopefully, God puts His heart in us. And when we put on the mind of Christ, I want to think the way God does. And sometimes that's not just being accepting and loving towards everybody. Some people, Jesus just looks at their Jezebel and He says, throw her out the window. Jesus is disgusted with some people. He can't stand them. And when it comes to her, I just like, man, like, I was like, she needs to go. She really, really does. It's ridiculous how some people can carry so much toxicity in them. Like, it's beyond me. I don't even understand that. And the dream that the Lord gave me about her, it was so many different. I know it was highly symbolic. I can't even really explain it to y'all completely, but I was in a house, and this is just part of the dream. She walked in. My coworker walked in, and there were just nothing but like children, just babies, and I think they were spirits. It was tons of them in this house, and she walked in. I just remember, like, when she walked in, she was already naturally a part of the chaos. Like, she was in family with those babies, and it was just tons of them. And I remember it was just something off about the children. Like, I know that they were demonic spirits, but it was like tons of them, and she was comfortable with it. When the Lord showed me that, like, that dream, I was like, she probably is just like, she dealing with some stuff. And some people, they like their demons. I think that's what He was just showing me about her. Like, she's defiled. She has so many chaotic spirits. Like, this is what you're dealing with, basically, is what He was showing me. The house was like an abandoned looking cabin house. She walked right in, was just like, her personality that she has at work, she just kind of came in laughing. And she made like it was her home. She came, was comfortable in that house, and I was just kind of standing there looking around, like, all these kids, like, they were, I think the babies, it looked like up from 9 months to a year old to like 3 or 4, and it was like, I would say it was about 30 or 40 of them. And the whole house, like, I could just feel the essence in the house was just chaos. Like, it was just like a perversion, defiled chaos, like a wickedness. And she came, and like she was right at home. And I think after that I just left. But that's really how she is in real life. And you know, some people, they can be so empty and so miserable inside. Some people you can just look at and there's no life anywhere on or in them, and that's her. She has no life in her at all. I tried to be nice to her, like, I don't know, I really cannot explain it. It's just, that's why I'm glad we have the Holy Spirit, because for some reason He just tells me, like, not to just, you know how like you want to be nice to somebody or you want to encourage or edify them, but God's not really leading you to. That's what I feel when I try to talk to her. Like, I try to like show her some type of compassion or just love, or just kind of like talk to her just to see if I can like dig deep and just, just, I don't know. And it goes nowhere. It's like God doesn't even want me to do that much with her. Some people are just wicked. And considering He gave me Daniel chapter 6, and the page that I turned to when I was praying about it, it was when I think it was King Darius. You know how they threw Daniel in the lion's den? Well, King Darius, he had his 2 men under him, and they were trying to get Daniel in trouble. Because King Darius, like, he issued out this law that nobody could pray to any other god or anybody but him. And obviously Daniel's not going to listen to that, so they pretty much trapped Daniel, got him caught up, because Daniel was still praying to God 3 times a day anyway. So they're running behind his back, that's exactly what that woman does. It's pathetic. I think I caught her when she was talking about me when I went to my manager's office. I was like, are you really this like pathetic? This is ridiculous. But That's the page I turned to where the two men, they went behind Daniel's back and they're just conspiring against Daniel, trying to get him in trouble. And they threw Daniel in the lion's den. And basically he comes out and he tells the king, he said, my God has preserved me because he found innocency in me and because I did no wrong against you or him. And as a result, the two men that were conspiring against Daniel, they got thrown in the lion's den and God killed them, basically. So that's the scripture that he took me to, and I prayed about my job and just this whole situation. So he's definitely going to remove them, thank God. But I think what he was just telling me is just, you just be very circumspect. Be quiet. Because I have a big mouth. Just do what I tell you to do. Be careful and just watch it back. And because God is not a respecter of persons, I think he was just telling me that. Because if you pay attention to Daniel's story, the only reason that God preserved him is because he was innocent. So what happens is, and I think I said this in another video, when we pray for God to do certain things, and we're like complaining to him about something, because he is a righteous God, he's going to come and he's going to search out the matter. But just make sure that you don't have nothing in the wrong either. Because when stuff like that starts happening and you're asking God to just do something on your behalf, you already know the enemy is going to be complaining and he's going to be against you. Y'all just consider yourself in court with the devil when you pray to God about anything. And God forbid that Satan has anything against you, because then God's going to have to execute judgment against you too. So honestly, God is the best person to go to when it comes to situations like that and you really can't do anything, like you're just being oppressed by wicked men, especially at your job. People in authority, like I said, who abuse their authority, or people who just don't need to be there, period. He's going to search it out and he's going to come up with a way to remove them. But because you're taking Satan's people out, because remember, Satan's trying to manifest his kingdom here as well. And when you intercede, that's when God can move on your behalf. He's going to knock that aspect of Satan's kingdoms down. Satan's going to find every possible way. He's going to look for every nook and cranny to where you could possibly be doing something wrong. And if you're smart and you're obedient and you're submissive, be careful, make sure you're doing what you're doing the right way. You and God can be successful in cleaning house. That's the only reason Daniel was preserved. Those stories are in there for a reason. That stood out to me because innocency was found in Daniel. Daniel didn't do anything wrong at all. And that's why God was able to execute judgment without him being touched. But I ended up giving a whole message and I just came on here to ask y'all to pray for me. Oh man. Yeah, I just don't like mind games, and that's what that spirit does. It's so annoying to me. I can't do the being nice one day, the next day you're fake, and just, honey, it's like pick one, please. You either gonna like the person or just not. Like, my thing is, like, I don't even want you to speak to me. I know some people be like, oh, you gotta be professional and just speak to them. Y'all don't have to be. No, I don't even want you to speak to me. Like, let's not even go that far. Like, don't acknowledge me at all. I don't want a good morning. I don't want a good evening or a good afternoon if I come into work. Like, don't even look at me. I'm very black and white. I don't like any gray areas. And that's just what I hate about this from these people the most. It's like they don't know which one they want to be with you. They're so two-faced. Honey, if you like somebody, you like them, speak to them and just be consistent with that. And if you don't, just forget about it. I guess that's just my issue because that's just the way my heart is set up. I care about people like so quick. Like one of the coworkers, I wanted to get the girl a gift for her birthday. And I mean, I know y'all like that's so crazy. That's just my heart. I just like blessing people. And especially since she confided in me and opened up to me and stuff. I was planning on, she said she likes Victoria's Secret, so I was going to get her something from Victoria's Secret, but I was going to try to see if I could find like some type of Christian book because she opened up to me about her past and stuff, about just something about God's love for her or just loving yourself, just something that could just build her up foundation wise. And I just don't even know if I should do it now because just because like of these, just I don't know. Like I said, she threw me under the bus in front of my manager in a meeting, and it was just so shady and just petty, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know how to deal with people like this in this type of atmosphere, and that is what I want y'all to help me with. Like, do you keep talking to them, and then it's like, how the word tells us, don't even fellowship with the wicked. So it's like, do you still apply that in a work atmosphere, or do you just still try to show them love? Like, what if they're just wicked and God doesn't really want you? Like, I mean, what if it's a watch your back kind of thing and you don't have to do all, like, I really don't know. So now I'm just kind of like, I like blessing people, but then the Lord also tells you not to cast your pearls among swine. So there's wisdom when it comes to giving people things. And that's the one thing I always do. I always give people my money. I'm always giving people gifts. Like the girl that just flat ironed my hair a few days ago, I gave her a $10 tip and she was so unappreciative of it. Like stuff like that. I don't want to like bless you with something and then regret it. Like at some point, you have to have enough discretion and wisdom from God to just know what and what not to give the wicked. They don't deserve that crap. And you're wasting your time. And I genuinely just wanted to show her the love of God by getting her a gift for her birthday because it's coming up. But I just don't know, y'all. I'm just all over the place. This is literally like the manifesto of I'm sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Like that's exactly like literally that's exactly what it is. And I'm just that little sheep with just like my bag and my purse. I've just walked into this new field and I'm just looking around like what the heck do I do? Oh God. I need to be Little Red Riding Hood, the blood of Jesus cloak. Jesus Christ, man. Like, what do you do? Which ones do you show the love of God to, and which ones do you just like leave alone? It's kind of hard to detect right now. So, I don't know, honey. I think it's 5 o'clock right now. That's pretty much what it is. I gotta go to work today, and I just need to know how to. What do you do? What if they don't want anything you have to offer them? What if they don't want God or the God? What if they don't want any of that and they make it known that they don't care? What do you do? To some people, it may seem really simple or just like not that serious. It's serious to me because I'm sensitive. And everything is very relational to me. Like I can't be around you as an individual, and like it has to be either or. Like I can't just be in this gray area with you and not really know what in God's name, like how to deal with you. It's either I'm gonna love on you completely, 100%, or I'm just not gonna have nothing to do with you at all. I don't know. And I hate being uncomfortable at work. It really is an uncomfortable feeling to be around people like that. Always shifting from one face to another. Funny acting, treatment, body language, just oh my god, all this stuff is just disgusting to me. I cannot stand that type of crap. So uneasy. And then you can't even be mature and confront them about it because that's just going to make the issue worse. Really, I know that's ridiculous, but like some people, you can just tell this is not an individual that you can have a civilized conversation with and confront the issue, sincerely ask them what the problem is without it like offending them somehow, or now they're really gonna like the treatment's gonna be worse towards you, or that whatever however they've been treating you, now they're really gonna be acting funny with you because you or they think that you have a problem with them, or they've been exposed. That's what's gonna be with this particular individual because God's already shown me how she feels about me, and it's so hard to look her in the face sometimes. Oh my god, I guess that's like there's pros and cons with like having a prophetic gift, because I find it hard to like conceal some of the stuff that God reveals to me about people. Like, how can I still smile at you and talk to you like God didn't just tell me that you literally have this negative crap in your heart for me? I don't know. Y'all pray though, honey. Tear it down. Tear it down in prayer. Look, when I say this place needs Jesus, it needs Jesus. It's worse than a strip club. And they ain't even got no hoes up in there. I'm serious. It's worse than a strip club. Mm. So be in agreement. I'm about to pray too, honey. I think it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna have to get up. Well, I'm already up, but get dressed. Be in agreement with me, honey. We're gonna have to tear it down. Pray for your sister. Especially if I'm supposed to be a light, honey. Pray that I don't get drowned out by all of this crap and just consumed by the beast. I'm so serious. Pray for my manager. God, look, cover that woman in prayer. I'm so serious. Cover my manager in prayer, please. Them spirits gonna break her down. Please cover her in prayer. Pray that the Lord just kind of gives her guidance. I mean, pray for her salvation and everything as well. Definitely pray for that, the important things. But as far as just like she is a manager, that's what God has her right now. So I really just want her. It's really like a Solomon issue. How when Solomon just asked God, when God asked him what he wanted because he was king, he said, well, you have me in charge over a whole bunch of people, and I just want the wisdom to know how to deal with them in a way that you would. And God gave it to him. That's what I want from my manager. Pray for her concerning that. Pray that she deals with her employees in God's wisdom, in righteousness, in justice, in holiness, in fairness. Pray that God just shapes and molds her character into one that's that she just treats people how she wants to be treated. That's just my main concern with her. I just see witchcraft on her already. Certain people in her ear, and I would hate to see that girl be won over by those witches at that job. Seriously, she's intimidated. She may not acknowledge it, but I can see it on her face, and I don't like that. And she's younger than one of them too. I know that's kind of awkward that you're a manager over somebody that could be your mama, but pray for her for strength and just I've been praying that God just gives her his eyes, because like I don't care if you saved or not. Like, honey, if you're gonna be in like a position of leadership or some type of management role, you need the heart of God to execute his will, because that's what you're there for. You're in authority. You gotta deal with people the way God would. You get in charge over people. You can't be this wicked, like selfish. It'll break you down. And she's overwhelmed. I can see it on her, especially with all that crap going on at the job. It's too much. I just pray that she makes the right decision. So pray for guidance for her. And that she's not easily ruled over and just manipulated by anybody that's over her either. Honey, pray for everybody. Tell you one person that you didn't pray for me. Like, y'all know y'all need to pray for me. Because my ninja's gonna come out. I'm serious. I call myself doing a twist out, honey. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. It's still damp. Oh Lord. I don't know. It may not come out looking good at all. I'm so tired of this crap. I cannot wait to get this diva cut. I'll never flat iron my hair again. Ever. I'll never, ever, ever. I guess that's what it took for me to just let it go completely. Like, when I got my hair flat ironed, it's just something about straight hair. It's just really ugly to me. I don't know why we be thinking about like flat iron our hair and perming it again, because straight hair is just boring. I mean, our natural hair is like, we all have our own unique curl patterns and a volume to it and our own little textures, and we're the only race that really has this type of hair. And when I had my hair flat ironed, it was just kind of like, it was boring. I don't. It was just like flat. I really can't explain it to you. Like, I just didn't like it. I didn't feel the way about it like I thought I would. And I just got it just to look more presentable at work because I don't know what to do with my hair right now. And although they say they don't really have a problem with my fro, I don't believe that. I mean, I don't want to be one of them naturals that just look like you just got out the bed and you didn't do nothing to your head. And I don't really know what to do with it now. So I got my hair flat iron. I didn't like it. It was boring. Straight hair is, and then like just the way it poofs up. Like, honey, my manager made me go pass out papers to like a whole bunch of rooms on each floor. And by the time I was done, honey, my poof was back. Like I started perspirating, sweating up in here, honey, and all of this was just a poof. So it's not meant. It's not designed. Like I think the world we come up carnally with so many different ways to just like manipulate things and change the origin. Like it's not meant for us to have straight hair. And that was the icing on the cake for me. I don't care for it anymore. I don't even like the look. I'd rather have my afro. I was so happy when I got out of that shower and I let that water hit my head and all my curls came back. I was so happy. Like, yes, this is me. Thank you, God, for my poofy, curly, thick, coarse hair and not this flat. I mean, it was soft, it was flowy, but it's boring. It's so boring. I actually have a coworker that's transitioning right now, and I could tell her hair is going to be so pretty. Her natural hair. It's going to be so pretty. But that's it, y'all. I'm done. Pray for your sister. I'm not playing, y'all. I know I'll be goofy on here sometimes, but y'all need to pray for me. I'm so serious. I'm in need of so much prayer. Y'all can't have your sister like around all these different wolves and y'all not covering her in prayer. She just getting swallowed by the enemy, honey, just getting all types of oppressed. Like, I cannot be going to work miserable and anxious. I can't do it. I need this job. Especially if I'm paying monthly on bed sets now. And I ain't got time to be like not working stuff. I got too much stuff to get. And I just want peace. That's all I pray for. I just want peace. I want a positive environment at my job. And I do not have that right now. So please pray for me. That's it.